If your watered down PVA just sits on the surface and you end up misting it with alcohol to force it, this is how to mix it so it soaks in on its own. The goal here is simple: diluted PVA that wicks into materials without extra steps. I usually start around equal parts glue and water, but I adjust based on how thick the glue is to begin with. Mine's quite heavy straight out of the bottle, so this batch ended up closer to 40% glue and 60% water. If your glue is thinner, you'll need less water. The starting thickness matters. I mix it in a separate pot so I can control it properly and keep the main bottle clean. Add water slowly, small splashes. Mix it completely smooth before adding more. If you dump it all in at once, it can go lumpy and never quite recover. Keep adjusting a little at a time until it loosens up. You're aiming for thin milk. It should run off the stick easily, but still look like glue. If it looks like tinted water, you've gone too far. Once it's there, add 5 to 10 drops of flow improver or washing up liquid and stir it through. That replaces the alcohol step. It lowers surface tension so the glue wets the fibres instead of sitting on top. Subscribe if you want to see what I make next. If you don't have flow improver, like I said, 1 or 2 drops of washing up liquid works just as well. Keep it controlled though. Test it on a scrap first. Apply a small amount and watch it. It should begin to soak in. On very dry or compacted materials, it can take longer to start pulling in, sometimes up to 5 minutes, depending on how dry the fibres are. That's totally normal. Once it starts to take, it will work its way through. If it's still beady or glossy after about 5 minutes, adjust the mix. You can brush it on or drip it onto the flocking and let it wick through static grass or saturate tissue for paper mâché. However you apply it, you want it drawing in, not pooling. If you thin it much further, you won't leave enough glue behind to stiffen the material. Once I'm happy with it, I transfer it to a small narrow neck squeeze bottle. It's 30 millilitres, a screw top, and I've labelled it wetted glue. It stays ready for sealing, locking flock or stiffening tissue. When pouring into a narrow bottle, hold the stir stick in the opening and then rest the pot against the stick. The glue runs down the stick, as you can see, straight into the bottle instead of down the outside. If it is still beading, add a few more drops of surfactant, so that's your flow improver or washing up liquid, shake well and test again. However, if it is too thick, add some more water, shake and test. Adjust gradually. After a few batches, you will recognise the feel. Different glues and different fibres behave differently, and when it dries, it shouldn't look coated, just a little firmer. If you've seen it behave differently on certain materials, I'd be really interested to hear what you're working with. I'll be back with something else soon.